iPods. Everyone and their mama has had one of these at one point in their life. They were used, and I mean used. It doesn't matter if it was an iPod Classic or Touch, it has scratches, some more than others, depending on your environment that it lived through. If it was an at-home gaming device, a music player for a teenager, or something to get you through work. No matter what you do, an iPod would get scratched up so badly no matter how hard you tried to keep it safe. If you put it in a case the day you bought it straight from the box, the case would even scratch it up, like it did with my personal 4th generation iPod Touch. I couldn't find many resources online that show you how to do like anything because they all just either flat out worked or barely worked. So I've come up with a couple solutions and we're going to be testing them today. So the first iPod I want to repair is this iPod Classic 5th generation. It looks pretty nice and the back is really scratched, as you can see. But that's not what we're going to be doing with this iPod. We're going to focus on the front of the display. As you can see, it is a hazy mess. It is absolutely destroyed. It's so hard to even see out of this. Just look at this. This is with brightness all the way up. In the sunlight outside, it looks like a garbage mess. Don't mind the messed up LCD, that's just how I got it. Now, a remedy I saw online is use Brasso. Brasso is a type of metal polish, and it's supposed to polish stainless steel and all this other kind of metal. Now, I know what you might be asking. What is a polish? A polish is like liquid sandpaper that's so like fine that it just takes off like one little layer to remove these scratches. Now, it doesn't say plastic on here anywhere, but this should work just fine. I saw videos of people using this online for the front of their iPods, and this haze will be gone. This is before. Alright, so how we're going to apply this. Usually people use a microfiber towel, but I have something a little bit faster to use than a microfiber towel. Bam! Old shirt. Anyways, so you want to go to this part where there's no awesome design. So anyways, so just take this, put like your finger through it, and then shake this up really good. Alright, after you're done shaking your arms off, you're gonna want to, now be careful when you open this, there's gonna be some that tries to fly out because of like negative pressure or something. Ew. Anyways, ignore the dried out brass, so let's go ahead and apply it to our shirt. Like that. That's probably a little bit too much. Just go ahead and rub it in there, and then go ahead and rub it into the screen. This stuff does kind of stink a little bit, so be wary of that. It seemed to just make it worse. Alright, it seemed to just kind of spread the scratches instead of remove them. We can try this step a couple times. The stuff does really stink, so don't breathe it in. I mean, it's actually starting to look a lot nicer after just a couple coats of this. You can see, I mean, it's a little bit hazy, but you can probably just buff that out a little bit more. But it's actually starting to look a lot nicer. Next, what I'm going to try to do is rub it down with 5,000 grit sandpaper. So here I have my grits of sandpaper. So I'm going to start out with the 1,000 grit and just scratch the screen here. Alright, now we have a nice and hazy iPod. Then this is the 3,000 grit. Maybe I should get like a 2,500 grit, I'm not too sure. Yeah, let's do that. Let's work our way up. Alright, so I just finished sanding off camera. I don't know how it looks though. I don't know if this is supposed to be So I went through 5,000 grit sandpaper. So let's check out how it looks right now. So it does look kind of scratched up, you can see on the screen, but it looks a lot better than it did. But once we put the metal polish on, let's try that. My goodness, guys, this is starting to look amazing. Look at this. Alright, so it's still a little bit hazy right now, but look at that. That is so much better than it used to be. It doesn't have that really nice gloss yet, but I guarantee if we keep working with this metal polish, it'll look shiny. Alright, so I've been working at this for about 20 minutes now and recorded every second of it basically. Yeah, I even cleaned it up with isopropyl alcohol after, and it's still really scratched. Let me show you what a not scratched example looks like. This is my 5.5 generation iPod Classic, and it looks amazing. Let's compare the two, shall we? Alright, tell me which one is which. That's right, this is the iPod 5th generation, and this one's the 5.5 generation. As you can see, the screen is a little bit more hazy and scratched up with the light, and this one, not too much. But I mean, it looks a lot better than it did. Let's get the before shot, and let's get this after shot. You could probably get something to buff it down a little more, because I still feel it really scratched up, and it doesn't feel too good, but right now my thumb and fingers really hurt, so I'm just gonna let this sit as it is. Over here we have an iPod Touch 4th generation in pristine condition that was donated through my friend. As you can see, the back has literally no labels whatsoever, and it is pretty scratched up, so we can go ham and get slammed because we're about to fix this the rough way. We could try to do Brasso, but that's too easy. But let's try that first anyways. So I have a big glob over here, not sure how well it will do, but let's try it out. After about 5 minutes of cleaning, you can see it is definitely far from fixed, but it is still looking kinda nice. So the only thing the Brasso really did was give it a nice little gloss you can see over here, but it is still mad scratched up and you can't really see reflections through it too well, so it is not the best iPod, it's not the best looking iPod yet, but we can always fix that. Let's start with some 400 grit sandpaper, shall we? Okay, maybe that one was a little bit too rough. Let's go up to 1,000. Alright, seems pretty good. Seems like a uniform layer of scratches. Let's bring it up to 2,000. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Let's bring it up to 3,000. $4,000 grit. And now let's go to the 5,000 grit, the final grit. So we worked our way from 300 grit all the way to 5,000 grit, and this is the final result without Brasso so far. So already we see a huge improvement on it. It looks so glossy and you can see a reflection through it, which is awesome. Say hello everybody. But anyways, look at it, it does look scratched up in the light, but without the light it is super reflective so far. But like, look, you can see my shirt through here, you can see my hand, anyways, look at how glossy it looks right now. It looks like a mirror. It looks so good. And let's go ahead and hit it with some Brasso. Look at how much black stuff came off of this iPod. I mean, it made it more uniform, but it seems to me to just have made it a little bit worse. I don't know, but maybe I gotta let it dry off. I don't know, I liked it before when I used the sandpaper, so let me try sanding it down some more. There we go, this is the mirror finish I was looking for. So as you can see, now that I have finished sanding and brassoing and then sanding again the iPod, it is starting to look a lot better, and you can see through the iPod like a mirror. It's kind of amazing. How many fingers am I holding up? As you can definitely tell, it did not remove all the scratches. In fact, it probably added more scratches, but it did give it a better finish and made it look quite amazing. But anyways, so sanding it with all these sandpapers, Brasso at one time, and then sand it again with a 5,000 grit makes it look super shiny. It doesn't remove all of it, but definitely helps. If you want to do this with one that still has like the Apple logo and stuff on it, just try to sand around that area. It might not look the best, but it'll still get the job done. So anyways, now I have a completely mirror finish back of an iPod without any labeling, which is kinda cool. The next amazing product that I'm going to be using to fix stainless steel scratches on iPods is this. This stainless steel scratcher eraser kit from Regenerate that I got from Home Depot for $5.50. As you can see right here, it shows a pretty good example of how it'll remove scratches. But this doesn't look too promising because look at how mirrory this looks and look at how hazy this looks. So maybe it won't fix our iPod's problem with the scratches, but still mirrory back. Let's see what it comes with. It comes with some abrasion pads, an applicator tool, some lube, and a microfiber cloth. Hopefully there's some instructions inside. Oh, directions inside. Okay, awesome. Let's see what we get. What we get in this package is 2 manuals for some reason, 2 microfiber cloths, an applicator tool, which is just this little tool, and then 2 sets of stainless steel cutting lube, and then 3 different abrasions of stuff. So anyways, let's check out the manuals. They literally just sent 2 of the exact same manuals. It's not like one's in Spanish or anything. They're literally both just the exact same manual. And they printed it on both sides too. What? It's literally, oh no, inside is the Spanish manual. But then why would they send 2 of them? Alright, I took 10 minutes to read the manual and let my camera cool down because it keeps wanting to overheat for some reason. So anyways, so these are pretty like fine scratches if you say so. So this is for like really deep scratches like I guess this would be pretty deep scratches right here. So it wants me to attach the maroon pad on. So anyways, it says apply 3 to 4 pea-sized beads of this. Let me just go ahead and do this. For some reason it never talks about the sandpaper. I don't know why, but anyways. There we go. 3 to 4. This is like liquid. It's just dripping everywhere. What? So I'm not too sure how long to scratch for. It says do 10 passes and wipe it off to see how it goes, but you should repeat it a couple times. But I still see the scratches, so I'm just gonna keep doing it until the scratches are gone. Maybe I should use the more abrasive pad. It says not to use the lube with the sandpaper, so let's wipe that off. It's not looking too good. Yeah, that should do the trick. But yeah, anyways, if you want to keep like the Apple logo and stuff, just be sure to like avoid the Apple logo. So you want to keep it in pristine condition. Those are some pretty deep scratches, dude. Alright, now that those scratches are blended in with more scratches, let's move up to the maroon pad again, shall we? Apply some more applicator. Rinse and repeat. Alright. Let's move on to the other pad, shall we? This pad. It seems like I'm all out. Let's open the other one. Alright, applied some pea-sized. Let's get back to work. Alright, next step is to use the microfiber towel and clean it up. Clean up the surface you're using as well. Alright, next step is to use Brasso, they say, or whatever their equivalent to Brasso is. Right there. This is not a paid sponsorship, by the way. Awesome. Let's use this microfiber towel to rub it in this time. Now after all that is done and a nice clean down with a microfiber towel, it's time to reveal how it went. Alright guys, let's see how it went. And bam, it looks absolutely horrible. This is the one we did with sandpaper and Brasso to make it all nice and mirrory. Hello again. Anyways, so this is the one we made, and this is the one the kit did. It is not that glossy at all. There's camera, there's me, kinda. But yeah, so doing it on your own, definitely a lot better than doing it with a store-bought kit. That also goes for like everything in the world. You can barely even see the Apple logo in this one anymore. Oh, and those original scratches with my screwdriver, yeah, you can still see them up here. You can still see them right there and down here. Yep, did not get rid of those. Apple released some iPods that actually come with color or painted housings, like the iPod mini, iPod Nano, iPod Shuffle, and 5th through 7th generation iPod Touch. This is a blue iPod Touch 5th generation that I have had in my collection, and as you can see, the back is pretty scratched up on all the corners and areas. So the first step what you're going to want to do to restore this beautiful iPod to its former glory is to grab some sandpaper and sand down all the abused old oxidized paint. Here it is after about 1 hour of sanding by hand and using like a whole sheet of just sandpaper. You should probably use something a little less than 400 grit, but that's just all I had available at the time. As you can see, I kept the Apple logo over here because I want to preserve that after the painting job. I tried my best to do all the corners, but it's just really hard. I could not get the sandpaper to sand this part, but that's alright. On to the next step. Next step, what you're gonna wanna do, sorry about the echo, but, so here's the iPod. We're now in our painting booth. So let's go ahead and mask off the things we need to. Grab your rusted X-Acto blade and go ahead and carve out. Alright, so you know what they say, go big or go home. I decided to go home on this one because it's way too difficult to carve out the whole iPod logo. So I just carved out the Apple logo, the camera, and all of the essential holes that you need to cover. So anyways, next step. I almost forgot the most important step. Don't forget to turn off your iPod and then tape the front. All set. Shake it one more time for good measure. Alright, and now let that dry for about 2 hours. Coat number 2. This is about 2 hours later. Actually, I think 4. Also, when you're doing this project, try not to have it next to piles of dust or just overall dirt, because this is a basement that's being finished, but it was being finished 2 years ago and then abandoned. Time for the third and final coat. I just got home from work. Next step is the clear coat. We're going to be adding 3 layers of clear coat. Now you want your first coat to be a relatively light coat. You don't want any orange peel or anything. So awesome. For some reason this looks so bad. I don't know why. I'll just put more. Alright, well it turns out that clear coat does not stick to Rust-Oleum. Well, at least not the matte one, so yeah, don't do that. I'm gonna have to try to peel it off or scrape it off now. Alright, so it's been about a week later, and here it is. Check this out. So I'm not the best at painting, so I have no idea why these wrinkles came a while ago. I could literally just peel off the paint before it all dried, but now it is rock hard. What I'm thinking is that the base coat didn't dry all the way and the clear coat dried really fast and kind of like shrunk, so it like pulled the base coat away. But now that it's all dry, you can see this iPod is pretty nice looking. It went from an ugly blue color to this pristine black color, and it still works. Now, I don't know if this paint and clear coat mix will hold up for long. I'm not too sure how it'll, bear with time and stuff, but for now, this is good. And that all being said, guys, thank you so much for watching me trying to restore these awesome collectible iPods from home with simple household tools and some store-bought kits, but we all know that household tools are always better than those store-bought kits. We tried polishing, we tried scratching and polishing and painting iPods, and the best one out of all of these is the most with the manual labor, which is sanding it down with all of these sandpapers. This one worked pretty good as well, but you also have to really scratch this one down too. Maybe if I was a little bit of a better painter, this one would have came out a little better. It's not, it doesn't scratch too easily, and the paint's not coming off, so you're good to go with this one. Plus this button still works. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave in the comment section if you know of a better method, or if you want me to make a part 2, and leave a suggestion of what kind of methods you want to see me try to use in the next episode. So thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Don't forget to eat your daily pie. Goodbye.